When you think of catfish, the first thing that might come to your mind is the massive red-tailed catfish, or the bold and burly Raphael catfish. While these are impressive fish, they can quickly outgrow a home aquarium. If you're a fan of catfish and have limited tank space, there are plenty of smaller, more manageable species that fit perfectly in nano or small aquariums. Let's take a look at what they are. Starting with the Lizard Pleco. The Lizard Pleco, or Hypancistris debilitera, is a fish that truly lives up to its name. With its stunning zebra-like stripes, it's not hard to see why this species is a superstar in the aquarium world. The Lizard Pleco has become one of the most coveted small catfish species for home aquariums, but not without some confusion. There are two main variants of this pleco, the elusive L046 Lizard Pleco, which hails from Brazil, and the more accessible L129 Lizard Pleco, also known as the Colombian Lizard Pleco. While both share similar traits, the L046 has those sharp, high-contrast black and white stripes that make it a showstopper. However, due to habitat destruction, specifically from the damming of rivers in Brazil, the true L046 Lizard Pleco has become a rarity in the aquarium trade. On the flip side, the L129 Lizard Pleco, with slightly less flashy brown and golden stripes, is still a gorgeous fish that offers the appeal of its rarer cousin, but with a more attainable price tag. It's the L129 that you're most likely to find in pet stores today, and it's still an absolute eye-catcher in any tank. Its rich, chocolatey hues mixed with a lighter zebra striping give it a distinctive, earthy look. Lizard Plecos are shy, introverted little creatures. They're nocturnal, meaning they prefer to hang back in the shadows during the day and venture out only when the lights go down. Their natural habitats are fast-moving rivers where they thrive in low-light conditions under the cover of rock and debris. In the aquarium, though, they'll happily settle into any cave, driftwood, or any nook you provide them, only emerging when they feel safe. Despite their shy nature, Lizard Plecos are perfect for small tanks because they stay small, growing to a maximum of about 3 inches. They're not going to outgrow your space, making them ideal for aquarists who want a striking fish without the burden of upgrading to a larger tank. But how do we care for these little guys? These plecos are a little more high maintenance than your average tank inhabitant, but trust me, they are worth the effort. Since they come from tropical waters, Lizard Plecos prefer warmer temperatures, somewhere between 26 to 30 degrees Celsius or 79 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit. So, you're going to want to make sure your tank heater's set accordingly, and remember, they're used to fast-flowing rivers, so having a bit of water movement in the tank is essential to mimic their natural habitat. A good filter with adjustable flow can create the current that they need without overwhelming them. Hiding spots are crucial for these little guys. Think of them as introverted roommates who love their privacy, without the drama. Driftwood, caves, and plenty of decor will give your Lizard Pleco the cover that it needs to feel secure. Plus, the driftwood isn't just for show, plecos benefit from gnawing on it for their digestive health, so it's a win-win, really. Feeding these little beauties is simple but specific. Lizard Plecos are more carnivorous than other pleco species, so when they nibble on sinking pellets and algae wafers, they're gonna need some meaty options too. Throw in some high-protein foods like bloodworms, brine shrimp, or even specialized carnivore pellets to keep them happy and healthy. But don't overdo it. Just a little bit of these rich foods goes a long way. One fun fact about the Lizard Pleco is its conservation status. The L046 Lizard Pleco is now so rare that many fish in the trade are actually tank-raised versions of the L129. This means that the L129 isn't just a beautiful fish, it's also the more ethical choice for aquarists who want to avoid contributing to the over-harvesting of wild populations. The L129 Pleco is now a popular and affordable option for aquarium enthusiasts, bringing a taste of the wild to your home, minus the hefty price tag. Next up is the stone catfish. Let's shift gears here and talk about the Para giardoni, the stone catfish, one of the tiniest yet most fascinating catfish you'll ever see. If the Lizard Pleco is the diva of the tank, then the stone catfish is the stealthy ninja, quietly blending into the background and disappearing into its surroundings. This little fish is perfect for those who appreciate subtle beauty and low-maintenance companions. Native to Southeast Asia, the stone catfish is one of the smallest species you'll find, barely growing beyond 1.5 inches. Its rough-textured, brownish-gray body is designed for camouflage, making it almost look like a rock or a piece of substrate. You could spend hours trying to spot it amongst gravel and driftwood, and just when you think it's vanished, there it is, chilling quietly like a little Zen master. Behavior-wise, stone catfish are about as chill as it gets. They're extremely shy and they prefer to spend their days hidden away among plants, rocks, and other decorations in your tank. You won't see them darting around or putting on a show. No. These little guys are the ultimate introverts. But once the lights go out, they come alive, scavenging the tank floor for food. Despite their small size, stone catfish are incredibly hardy, and they're great for aquarists who want fish that can adapt to cooler water temperatures. They're perfectly content in tanks with temperatures ranging from 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, that's 68 to 77 degrees Fahrenheit, which makes them a versatile addition to those various setups. Stone catfish thrive in soft acidic water with a gentle current, similar to slow-moving rivers and streams that they call home in the wild. They appreciate a well-planted tank with plenty of cover, so don't skimp on the decorations. The more places they have to hide, the happier they'll be. And because they're bottom dwellers, a soft substrate like sand or fine gravel is ideal to prevent any damage to their delicate barbels as they search for food. Feeding your stone catfish is pretty straightforward. As bottom feeders, they're going to scavenge for any leftover food, but they particularly enjoy small live or frozen options like bloodworms and brine shrimp. Offering a variety of food ensures that they get all the nutrients that they need while still engaging in their natural scavenging behavior. What's truly impressive about the stone catfish is their ability to blend in with their environment. This talent isn't just for show, it's a survival mechanism. In the wild, their camouflage helps them avoid predators by making them almost invisible against the riverbed. In your aquarium, this stealth mode might make them hard to spot, but it also gives them a unique charm. Watching them emerge from the substrate at night is like spotting a little secret that your tank is hiding. Let's talk about one of the most beloved algae eaters in the aquarium world, the Otocinclus. These small catfish have earned their place in countless tanks, not just for their tiny size, but for the incredible role that they play in keeping algae under control. Think of them as the environmentalists of your aquarium, constantly hard at work, making sure that things stay fresh and clean. Otocinclus, or otos as they're often called, are the kind of fish that bring a lot to the table without demanding much. Their size makes them perfect for nano tanks or smaller setups while they stay around a manageable 2 inches, which means that you don't have to worry about them outgrowing their environment. With their slender, streamlined bodies and dark stripe running down their sides, otos may not scream, "Look at me!" but their contribution to the tank is undeniable. If there's one thing otos are known for, it's their relentless appetite for algae. These little fish are like the cleaning crew you didn't know you needed, munching away on algae all day, every day. And unlike some of the other algae eaters, they're incredibly active during the daytime, which means you'll get to actually see them in action. They'll cruise around the tank cleaning surfaces, plants, and decorations, keeping your tank from turning into an algae jungle. While their diet does mainly consist of algae, however, they'll also snack on biofilm and even the occasional veggie if you're feeling generous. Blanched zucchini or sinking algae wafers, anyone? Oh, they're all over that. However, here's the catch. Because they're so good at their jobs, otos need a well-established tank with plenty of algae or biofilm to graze on. If your tank is too clean, they're gonna run out of food, which can cause stress or health issues. And while they're happily gonna keep things clean, they're not invincible. These little guys need a stable, healthy environment to thrive, with consistent water quality and a regular feeding schedule that includes plant matter when algae isn't abundant. What's even more endearing about the Otocinclus is their social nature. These fish are happiest when they're surrounded by friends. You're gonna want to keep them in groups of at least 6 or more so they don't feel isolated. They might be tiny, but they're definitely not loners. Watching a group of otos zip around your tank working together to keep everything spotless adds a lot of life to any aquarium. And because they're peaceful fish, they get along famously with other small, non-aggressive species. Whether you've got tetras, shrimp, or even snails, otos are gonna fit right in, causing zero drama in your tank. As for tank requirements, they're pretty straightforward. Otocinclus thrive in water temperatures ranging from 21 to 26 degrees Celsius, that's 70 to 79 degrees Fahrenheit. So, if you've got a standard tropical setup, you're good to go. Just make sure you're providing them with clean, well-oxygenated water, as they're quite sensitive to poor water quality. Adding live plants not only improves the water quality, but it gives them more surfaces to graze on. One thing you gotta keep in mind is that Otocinclus are still widely wild-caught. You're gonna wanna look for a tank-bred species, which you'll usually find online or at your local fish store if they're labeled. Now, if you're looking for something a bit more mysterious and striking, let's turn our attention to the Bumblee Catfish, aka Microglanus eheringi. This catfish has one of the most distinctive appearances in the aquarium trade, with its bold black and yellow stripes resembling, you guessed it, a wasp. Okay, a bumblebee. While they are small, typically growing around 2.5 to 3 inches, these catfish pack a punch in terms of visual appeal and personality. Bumblee catfish are true nocturnal creatures. You're not going to see them much during the day as they prefer to stay hidden in the darker corners of the tank, hiding out in caves, driftwood, or under rocks. But once the lights go off, oh, that's when the magic happens. These little hunters emerge from their hiding spots ready to scavenge the tank for food. Their secretive nature makes them feel like the aquarium's undercover agents, there, but not always seen. It's kind of like having a hidden gem in your tank, only revealing itself to those patient enough to wait till nightfall. And because they're nocturnal, it's important to provide plenty of hiding spots for your bumblebee catfish. Caves, driftwood, dense plants, you get it. Anything that's going to give them a place to retreat during the day is going to make them feel safe and secure. It'll also add an element of mystery to your tank. You might not always see them, but you'll know they're there, quietly doing their thing in the shadows. Caring for a bumblebee catfish is relatively easy too, but they do have a few specific needs. They prefer slightly warmer water temperatures ranging from 23 to 28 degrees Celsius or 73 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit, plus a well-planted tank with good filtration and water quality is a must. They're not picky about pH levels though. Keeping things stable and within a reasonable range is always going to be a good idea. In terms of diet, bumblebee catfish are carnivores, and they are all about that protein life. They love live or frozen foods like bloodworms and brine shrimp, but they'll also chow down on sinking carnivore pellets. If you're looking for a fish that helps clean up leftover food, the bumblebee catfish can do the job. Just make sure that they're getting enough to eat, since they often hide during feeding time. Their nocturnal habits can sometimes mean that they miss out on food if you're not feeding them at the right times. Fun fact, bumblebee catfish are elusive by nature. During the day, you might have a hard time spotting them at all, which only adds to that mysterious allure. It's like they're playing a never-ending game of hide and seek, and when you do catch a glimpse of them, feels like a reward for your patience. The beauty of this catfish is its blend of stunning appearances with secretive behavior. They bring a lot of personality to any aquarium, even if they prefer to keep a low profile. For aquarists who appreciate the idea of having a hidden treasure in their tank, the bumblebee catfish is the perfect addition. Let me introduce you to the red lizard pleco, a catfish that's as unique as its name suggests. This small reddish-brown pleco grows to about 4 inches, making it the perfect fit for medium to small tanks. What sets the red lizard pleco apart is not only its striking color, but also its sleek, streamlined body, which gives it a lizard-like appearance as it gracefully glides along the tank floor. Red lizard plecos are peaceful and hardy, which is exactly what you want in a tank mate. They love to scavenge for food, particularly anything that sinks to the bottom, so they're great at cleaning up leftovers in the substrate. But don't let their scavenging fool you. They also appreciate a well-balanced diet of sinking pellets and the occasional algae wafer to keep them in top form. While they are bottom dwellers, they're not just confined to lurking in the depths. You'll actually often see these guys making their rounds, exploring nooks and crannies in search of a snack. And these plecos are quite peaceful too, making them a great tank mate for other small non-aggressive species. They're not demanding when it comes to tank conditions either. Just provide clean water, good filtration, and some driftwood or rock caves for hiding and they'll be content. While they do love to stay hidden for much of the day, their occasional ventures into the open make them a delightful addition to any tank. If you've got a nano tank and want a small fish with big personality, look no further than Pygmy Corydoras. These tiny catfish are an absolute joy to watch and they stay under 1 inch in size. But don't be fooled, they make up for their small stature with incredible activity and social behavior. While some catfish are known for being shy or reclusive, the Pygmy Corydoras are the opposite. These little sprinters are constantly on the move, darting about your tank in small schools and bringing a sense of energy to your aquarium. Because they're so small, Pygmy Corydoras thrive in groups. In fact, they need the company of their fellow cories to feel safe and secure. So it's essential to keep them in schools of 6 or more. Watching them swim together in synchronized bursts is both relaxing and mesmerizing. It's like having a mini underwater flash mob happening in your tank. And in terms of care, they're very easy to please. They prefer soft, sandy substrates, which allow them to sift through the bottom without damaging their delicate barbels. As bottom feeders, they'll snack on leftover food, but they also enjoy sinking pellets and the occasional treat of live or frozen foods like bloodworms or brine shrimp. Pygmy Corydoras are peaceful and they get along well with other small non-aggressive species, making them ideal for community tanks. Fun fact, Pygmy Corydoras don't just stick to the bottom like most other catfish. These little guys will often swim mid-water or even near the surface, giving them a much more dynamic range of movement compared to other bottom dwellers. This makes them the perfect choice if you want to fill all levels of your tank with activity. Let's take some time to discuss the different types of catfish, so if you find a fish not on this list, you'll know the differences. First up, Corydoras. Corydoras are a diverse group with species that range in size, color, and pattern. but they all share a few key traits that makes them incredibly popular in the aquarium hobby. For one, they're peaceful, making them great tank mates for a variety of community setups, and much like the Pygmy Corydoras, they thrive in groups. So it's best to keep them in schools to see their natural behaviors in full swing. One of the most beloved features of Corydoras catfish is their role as bottom feeders. These catfish will happily scavenge the tank floor, helping to clean up leftover food and debris and keeping your substrate tidy and free of waste. While they're working away at the bottom, their quirky, playful antics make them a joy to watch. They're constantly on the move, but never in a frantic way, more like gentle explorers combing through the tank in search of their next snack. Corydoras species come in a variety of sizes, so there's one for nearly every tank size. Whether you've got a nano tank or something larger, you can find a Corydoras species that fits. Their ability to adapt in a wide range of water conditions and their generally hardy nature makes them a great choice for beginner and experienced aquarists alike. One of the coolest things about Corydoras is their ability to gulp air from the surface, which helps them survive in low oxygen environments. This unique trait means that even in tanks with less than ideal oxygen levels, Corydoras can thrive. However, it's always best to maintain proper tank conditions to ensure their long-term health. Small catfish, big personalities. Next, let's talk about catfish. They're hardworking, peaceful, and bring a unique personality to your tank, making them more than just cleanup crews. With their lively behaviors, scavenging skills, and dynamic social interactions, these little fish can transform your tank into a vibrant ecosystem. Adding any of these small catfish to your aquarium isn't just about keeping things clean, it's about enriching the overall experience of watching your tank flourish. So, if you're ready to add a touch of life and character to your aquatic world, these little catfish are just what you've been looking for. However, keep in mind that some species of catfish get very large or are predatory. Examples would be the red-tailed catfish and the gulper catfish. Make sure you do your research before you buy, as you may end up with a catfish that's a total tank buster. And next, let's talk about pleco fish. Plecos are another subset of the catfish family, and they're so diverse in the hobby that an L system was created to identify them. These fish are often called suckerfish and are known for chewing on driftwood and eating algae. They come in various sizes, from smaller plecos like clown plecos to very large plecos like the common pleco or sailfin. This is another species you're going to want to do your research on, and make sure that you get the one that doesn't outgrow your tank. But next, let's talk about the appeal of small catfish. What makes these small catfish such rock stars for small tanks? Well, for starters, their size. When we say small, we mean it. These little critters stay within a size range that's ideal for smaller tanks, usually maxing out at a few inches long. This makes them manageable for aquarists who don't have the space or the desire to deal with fish that need large 100-gallon plus aquariums. But it's not just about size. Small catfish are incredibly low maintenance too, which is a big win for anyone who's new to fish keeping or prefers a more relaxed approach to tank care. These fish are scavengers by nature, meaning that they help to keep your tank clean by feeding on algae, leftover food, and other debris that can accumulate at the bottom of your tank. In a way, they're like the underwater equivalent of a Roomba, cleaning up as they go without you needing to lift a finger. And because small catfish are generally peaceful creatures, they make fantastic tank mates. They won't pick fights with other fish, and they're usually content to minding their own business. They also take up the bottom section of the tank, which is usually left untouched by many other fish. Knowing that there are surface, mid-level, and bottom swimming fish will allow you to mix your fish population so you have activity on all levels. Next up, let's talk about the perfect tank setup for some of these small catfish. When it comes to tank setup, small catfish have a few basic needs, but they're far from being divas. These fish thrive in well-filtered tanks with clean water, and it's important to keep the water parameters stable. Like all fish, they need good filtration to prevent any buildup of harmful toxins such as ammonia or nitrite. Regular water changes are crucial to maintaining their health, especially in smaller tanks where water quality can deteriorate faster. One of the keys to happy small catfish is a tank with plenty of hiding spots. In their natural environments, many of these species come from rivers and streams where they can tuck themselves away in crevices or under rocks. In your aquarium, you're going to want to provide similar hiding spaces, which can be as simple as adding caves, driftwood, or thickly planted areas. Having a spot to retreat helps your catfish feel safe and secure, especially if they're nocturnal like the Bumblee Catfish or the stone catfish, which prefer to come out and explore during the night. Lighting also has something to consider. While these fish don't have specific lighting needs, a lower light setup can help them feel more comfy, particularly the shyer species. Plants that thrive in low light conditions or prefer to float are a good fit here, as they're going to provide extra cover and help maintain water quality by absorbing excess nutrients. Nature's cleanup crew. Here's where small catfish really earn their stripes, literally and figuratively. As scavengers, these fish are an absolute blessing to keep your tank clean. They'll happily munch on uneaten food that's fallen to the substrate, which helps reduce waste and keep your tank from developing that murky, neglected look. And if you've got algae problems, you'll love the Otocinclus. These little guys are basically professional algae eaters. They'll zip around your tank, scraping algae off of surfaces and keeping things sparkling clean without the need for chemicals or manual scrubbing. Just because they help with tank maintenance doesn't mean you can ignore feeding them though. Each species has specific dietary needs, so it's important to supplement their scavenging with proper food. Sinking pellets, algae wafers, and even blanched vegetables can be part of their diet. For the more carnivorous species like Bumblee Catfish, small frozen or live foods such as bloodworms or brine shrimp are a tasty treat that they'll go crazy for. These fish not only make your life easier by keeping the tank clean, but they bring a ton of personality to the table. Watching them dart around, weaving in and out of plants, or settling down for a snooze in their favorite hiding spots, all part of the charm. They may be small, but their presence in your tank makes a big impact. If you're all about keeping your tank clean and full of life, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more fishy fun. Trust me, your tank and new catfish friends will thank you. Visit our website for more hobby insights and click the next video to see more aquarium goodness. We'll see you next time.